Good afternoon, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick Thomas from Obsolete Video Services. Hey guys, been getting a lot of emails, well, maybe about 5 or 6, which is very valid emails, very valid questions, and pertains to my equipment. And so I thought I'd make a video and tell you exactly what I do, so that way, if you guys want to have your own system built, and I have been having people contacting me about building systems for them, especially TV stations that need small rooms for transfers and various different things. But I have been getting people asking if I could do makeshift studio setups like this for their archives, like museums, libraries, and stuff like that. But I've been getting a lot of emails concerning the equipment. So let me explain to you what I do, and maybe it might guide you a little bit. Anyways, as you know, when you have a computer, well, this is my second computer right here, my backup, which was over there. The computer I had here, believe it or not, which was kind of disappointing, but anyways, it caught on fire because the processor, for some reason, the cooler, I don't know what the hell happened, but the processor actually burned up the motherboard on that. So we scavenged all the parts out of my original computer and put them on the, I got them in a box, stuff that I can actually use on another build. But this is my second computer. It isn't really fancy, fancy type of thing, but I mean, it's got quality enough to do what I need for like straight captures, like, you know, MPEG-4 or whatever, which is my second backup computer. Of course, you know about my computer over here, which is for, you know, the Apple products, that type of stuff for ProRes editing, that type of thing. But we are building another computer. This is the case that I've got here. This is going to be for AI supercomputer rendering. You know, relatively everything I got for this was pretty cheap. The case, like I said, is a really nice case. Got it for like 140 bucks. But we are building a state-of-the-art new computer to replace the one that burnt out, which is going to be this one. And this is going to be all AI. I mean, super fast AI with processor speeds, hard drives. I mean, it's going to be ridiculous. But we did, I've been working on this for about 9 months now, and this is where I'm at. I'm just, you know, like I said, never have enough money to actually afford to buy everything I need. So I've been buying piece by piece for the past year to build this second computer. And I wasn't anticipating my main one going out, but thank God we had a second backup for that. So we're going to be having a AI computer once I get around to getting the rest of the stuff for it. And I still got to get a graphics card for this and one more drive for it. But I've been working on this for over a year. This is going to be an AI state-of-the-art system. This thing is going to be badass above badass. It's going to make my other computer that was right there look like a welfare case when I get this thing installed. But anyways, we are building another system. This is going to be for state-of-the-art Star Trek, serious Star Trek stuff. This is going to be done. I still have to get a few components for it, but I've been building this for about a year. So we're going to have a second computer. I'm going to swap this one in place as soon as I finally get it finished and built. But this is my secondary computer, which was over there, which you never really saw. It was on the side of my desk. This is a makeshift computer. You know, it does what I need it to do, strictly for capturing and files and stuff. But it isn't a super duper computer for like video. Just above water of daily use for what I need to do video capture. But we are going to have another computer. I've been working on this thing for over a year. As soon as I get some more components, you'll be seeing that on my desk as well. All right, on top of it, you know, computers, you have to always update your drivers. You know that, right? The drivers on the components on these things always get better even when you don't know it. Windows Update does not find drivers for your computer. It's just for security updates pretty much. So you do need to get software and scan for the updated drivers on your computer to always keep updated, okay? Always keep up to date on your stuff, guys, because it does matter when you're doing video production like this. Also, over here, as you can see, we have my system, as you see it in general. Now, basically, some of this stuff, a lot of people don't even look, but a lot of these components, they have plugins, especially from the Blackmagic products for like the recorders and various things. Blackmagic is definitely one of these hardware type of stuff that stuff that you can get that you can actually do driver updates on. So if you have any Blackmagic products, make sure to update your firmware drivers on the units. And it's very important because Blackmagic always updates or creates update fixes for these units. And you want to make sure you get the update fixes for these units to fix your equipment, especially if it's got like the Blackmagic stuff. It basically, you can update the firmware. It takes a very, very unique plug. It's not a common one, but it's very unique. You plug it into your USB on your computer, and you download the software from Blackmagic, and you'll find out that you'll need firmware updates. And when I bought these, they were up to date. And when I started scanning for firmware updates on these two and my two converter boxes that's underneath this panel, they all needed firmware updates. And generally, most people wouldn't think about that. But unfortunately, they said that mine was out of date, and I updated the firmware, and now these things are working even better with all those fixes that Blackmagic gives you for these recorders and different things that they manufacture. It also goes for this hard drive recorder as well. There was a firmware update on this. So always keep up to date on your firmware, your updates, your drivers. Always check everything. If it has a plug on it, and a type of plug that you could plug into it, and it can go to a USB, that generally means that you can get a firmware or a software update from the website from whatever the component is. Make sure you check for that, because it was kind of weird. I tried to use this recorder over here, and of course I've got the converter box behind this panel. That converter box would not work right, and this one did. It was just so strange. And then when I went in and plugged all of it into the computer to check for software updates, all four of them needed a firmware update. Now everything works fine. So make sure you check for firmware. Make sure you check for drivers, driver updates, all that kind of stuff, and any of the components that you have equipment-wise in your system, if it accepts searching for firmware and driver. Some of them have those little plugs where you can actually check online and check the piece of equipment for a firmware or a software update. That also goes for DVD players. A lot of people don't understand, even the DVD players have firmware updates. You can either do it through the Ethernet connection on the back, or you can do it through the wireless and then go into the feature on the Blu-ray player, and you can update the firmware on the Blu-ray player, and 9 times out of 10 that Blu-ray player will play even better once you get that update. So a lot of people don't realize, if you don't update your equipment firmware or software, and a lot of equipment does give you that option, it's just going to make your equipment even better, because they find all these patches, all these fixes for glitches and things like that. So it's always good to update your firmware and your drivers. That goes for your computer systems, as well as any equipment that gives you that option for firmware and software updates. So I hope you enjoyed this video.